It's the atmosphere that's really caught our attention. A surge of bitterly cold Arctic air all the way to the Gulf of Mexico and Florida, clashing with warmer Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico air just to fire up an exceptionally strong jet stream. Really quick transatlantic flights expected this week, but what a strong jet stream also means is that we're breaking down the weather patterns and we're going to be firing deep and stormy areas of low pressure towards the environment around the UK. So there is that potential we could start to enter a stormier period later this week.
Carol's got a blue picture for Blue Monday as well. Morning.
Good morning, both. Good morning to you too. It is quite cloudy. Some of us have got some fog to start the day, and it's -7 in Aboyne in Aberdeenshire for the second night on the trot. So it's a cold start for many.
You've been looking across the Atlantic, Carol, because it's going to be freezing.
It is. The top temperature today, John, is going to be -3 or -4. But when you add on the wind chill, it will feel more like -13. They've got gusts of wind around 30 miles an hour in Washington, D.C. today. A little bit of snow lying on the ground, but the forecast for today is mostly dry and sunny. Now, for us, it's a cold start as well, leading us once again into a cold day, but a very deep one coming our way on Friday, which has the potential to bring those stormy conditions. So if you've got any plans for Friday, even into the weekend, do keep watching the weather forecast. Sal and John.
Oh, it's looking pretty grim, isn't it? Carol, in that case, we need a sing-along. You ready for a sing-a-song?
With my voice, but yes.
No, Carol!
Thanks, Sal.
Don't get Carol to sing.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Except maybe if she's at the football.
Yeah, everyone.
We could well have some stormy conditions, especially so on Friday, so do keep watching the weather forecast for the latest updates on that one. This morning, it's a foggy start for some, as you can see in Lockerbie, in Dumfries and Galloway, but for many of us, it's a cloudy start. There's some patchy rain around, and through the day, we will see one or two brighter breaks develop.
Hi there, Sarah. Well, what's happening in the US is going to affect us, not necessarily with the cold, -4, the current temperature at the moment in Washington. But when we add in the northwesterly wind gusting 30 mile an hour, it'll feel more like -13.
Good afternoon. Another largely misty, cloudy start this morning, and it was a fairly damp commute for some. There was some drizzle in the cloud as well. But the cloud, we've had a few brighter spots. It's been breaking here and there, so little glimpses of blue sky and something a little brighter. And we're going to continue in the same vein as we head further through this afternoon.
A historic day ahead here in Washington. Donald Trump, the oldest president ever to be sworn in. He beats Joe Biden by just a few months. It is all underway now. Donald Trump, will head to the White House shortly, where he will take tea with Joe Biden and his wife Jill. And then after that, they will all head up in the cavalcade to Capitol Hill, where the whole event will take place. That's just before 5 p.m. UK time. Everything has been moved indoors because it is so cold here today in Washington. Let's have a look at what the weather is like right now, though, in the UK. Louise Lear joins us now.
Hi there, Sophie. You wouldn't tell that it's that cold, but I can tell you it's -4 at the moment in Washington. For us, we've got sunny spells and scattered showers. Northwest Scotland perhaps seeing the best of the weather and the warmth today, but for most of us, it's a pretty stagnant affair. Just take a look at the Lake District in Cumbria, that low cloud, that mist thick enough for some drizzle as well. And pretty much what you've got today is what you're going to keep for the rest of the day.
You're a fan of the theatre, aren't you?
Hello, pantomime.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Stage, microphones, lights, cameras. Yes, I'm a fan.
Yes, massive fan. Well, that's something really lovely and uplifting to lift us on what is Blue Monday, apparently. But weather-wise, Blue Monday is really being quite blue today. It's freezing.
I know, it's really... Do you get sad? Do you get seasonal
affective disorder? I think I do, because of why it's so dark when you wake up and you can't bother to get out of bed. And
I can't imagine you ever being sad.
Really?
No, because you're never sad. But here is some good news for you.
Okay.
So daylight is on the up.
Okay.
Our sunrise is now before 8 o'clock. Last week it was 8 o'clock and after. This time next week we will have 24 minutes extra daylight. In February we get an extra hour and 40 minutes, and in March we get an extra 2 hours. So we are on the incline, out of winter and out of the darkness. So tomorrow's not too bad weather-wise, and then it all gets a bit iffy as we go through the week. Potentially some wet and windy stuff at the end of the week. So we'll just keep an eye on all that for you. But as I said, tomorrow's all right. So try and get outside if you can. Here we go. Let's take a look. Hello again. I hope you had a good Monday. The only way's up for this little one, well, hopefully anyway, unlike the weather, which is kind of going downhill, I'm afraid, this week. But it's not too bad tomorrow. Some bright spells around, pretty chilly, but from Wednesday onwards, it starts to become a bit more unsettled and then quite wet and windy into Friday, and at times possibly over the weekend. So we're just keeping an eye on all of that. But you can see this deep area of low pressure coming in for the end of the week. Its path is still a bit uncertain, but it looks like it will send us some wetter and windier weather as we head into Friday and Saturday. So we're just keeping an eye on that, particularly those strong winds, and we'll let you know how it pans out. Temperatures coming up a bit though. That's good. Cheerio.
Expect a very stormy period as we head towards the end of the week, and it could stay rather stormy as we head through the weekend and into the start of next week, potentially too, for us here in the UK. But until then, it's fairly calm still. The best of the brightness and sunshine today has been across Scotland and Northern Ireland.
And this week has kind of started off damp and chilly.
Yes, not really spirit lifting at all, has it been today? Not really. The sunset was lovely, however. I'll get to that in a moment. Now, yes, today's weather, it has been quite chilly. It was certainly quite a damp start first thing this morning. You can see from our Weather Watchers pictures at Euston, that commute in, there was some fairly persistent drizzle for a time. It did gradually start to clear and the cloud broke up a little, which led to this. Now, this is the sunset I was talking about earlier. Absolutely stunning view from Chingford earlier on today. Just beautiful.
Another storm on its way.
A storm is on the way. Not a named storm, I have to point that out at the moment, but certainly a pretty deep area of low pressure is going to be developing as we head through the next few days. In fact, let's take a look at the pressure pattern setup. As we run this, you'll notice calm conditions for the next couple of days, but as we get towards Thursday, Friday, this deep area of low pressure is going to move, and you can see just how tightly packed those isobars are. So it is going to be whipping up the winds. As I say, not a named storm yet. There are a few scenarios that we are expecting. So let's take you through those right now. There is a 60% chance that it is going to go up towards the northwest, affecting some parts of Scotland, and there are warnings in place, which we'll take a look at in just a second. The other scenario is around 20% that it could come further south. If it does so, that would be more impactful for a larger part of the British Isles. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And then the third scenario, again, at around 20%, is that it does go way to the north here and would be less impactful. Of course, we'll be keeping you updated on all of this as we head through the next few days. The Met Office, though, have already started to issue some warnings. So this is for midnight on Friday. Wind warning across the northwest there. We could see gusts up to around 70, 75 miles per hour. Certainly strong enough to cause some disruption. But I say, it is Monday. Things are going to develop as we head through the next few days. So keep a watchful eye on the latest on these warnings. As I say, they could well be updated by the time we get to Friday. As for the forecast for the next couple of days, it's looking fairly quiet for the time being. Perhaps a calm before the storm. Let's take a look right now. Well, as I say, the beginning part of this week is looking pretty quiet, dry for many parts, particularly across the south. Also fairly cloudy as well, especially in the south, as it has been over the last few days. But towards the end of the week, things turning quite wet and windy as that deep area of low pressure does develop.